me start with a question. What do all these require? Like managing a portfolio well, taking a good business decision, healing a disease, inventing a new product? What they all require is knowledge. Knowledge is the ability to know that to buy ETH instead of iOS in 2020, or it's navigating difficult situations, difficult environments. It's knowledge about the human body, about microbiology. It's very important, right? But where does it come from? In the world of Tai Lopez, in the physical world, it comes from books and brain. You have a book, you have a brain to read the book and to process it, then you have knowledge. Simple. In the digital world, it's a bit of the same. You have data sets, algorithm. The data sets are processed by algorithm. You have knowledge. The subtle difference is that the data sets and the algorithm, they can be copied infinitely at almost zero marginal cost. And that's really powerful. There's a problem, though, is that the digital world is very siloed. I mean, a lot of people have managed to build protocols or to build systems that can share infrastructure for computation or storage, but still the data and the algorithm themselves, they are not shared. They are mostly the companies, they keep it for themselves. Even as an individual, we don't want to expose our data. And that's a huge issue, right? Pepe is sad because the data and the algorithm are not shared, and the knowledge is not created. So that's why we have rug pulls, that's why we have pandemics, that's why we have hunger, that's why we have climate change. We don't know how to solve these problems. It's a matter of knowledge. So what's the alternative? The alternative is, yeah, we all share our data, our algorithms, and there are our own terms. We contribute together toward a common goal, and we are all rewarded for that. That would be nice, right? So why not? Why isn't that the case? First, the main reason is we don't have the right tools to coordinate ourselves. It's really the main issue, and there's some good news here. Crypto is the future of social coordination. A lot of people say crypto is the future of finance, but finance is just a social coordination system. Really, the basics of crypto is about social coordination, and finance is just one system. And that's why we've built, and we're still building, the Open Knowledge Protocol. It's a protocol that is specifically designed to enable off-chain coordination at scale. This is a brief history. It started with Bitcoin, a pretty simple crypto-enabled coordination system where miners and nodes, they contribute together to have a database of scarce units that can be transferred. It's the payment. Then came Ethereum with DeFi, with NFTs, with DAOs, a bit more complicated coordination system. But this is really the beginning. This is really, I mean, there is a lot of more complex and more exciting things that are to come. So OKP4, to be more specific, it's the first settlement layer for off-chain workflows using shared resources. So it's a settlement layer, like any blockchain, but it's for off-chain workflows. So workflows are a set of actions towards a desired outcome, but these workflows are based on shared resources. So shared data sets, shared algorithm, shared resources for computation, shared software, anything can be orchestrated through a workflow using the blockchain. So to be more specific, the blockchain, it enables to define any rules on chain. So basically any rule attached to any resource. So you have data, you have algorithm, you can reference it through the protocol, and you can attach some rules to it, like what does it take to access it? Do you need some credentials? What is the business model? Any kind of rules you can apply to it. And so once you have the rules and once you have the resources, then you can initiate workflows on these resources. And so there is basically two kinds of users. There are the providers who are referencing their data sets, their algorithm, and defining the rules. And there is a consumer who can basically build a workflow and say, oh, I want this to happen. I want to access such data sets and mix it with such other data set and algorithm. And so the consumer will do a request, and if it's done in compliance with the rules, then the workflow will happen off-chain. So to be very clear, the data sets and algorithm, they are not on-chain. They are shared, they are referenced in the protocol, they are described in the protocol, like the metadata of the data and the algorithm, but they stay off-chain. They're just referenced in the blockchain. Same for the computation. The blockchain, all it does is making sure that the rules are enforced, that they are respected, but then the computation happens off-chain, where the people have decided for it to happen. So what it enables OKP4 is to reference any resource, as I said, to define any rules, and to enforce these rules. And this has a lot of different use cases. But first, how does it work? There is 3 pillars. This is mostly defined by a set of modules and smart contracts on the chain. But the first pillar is the governance, so it's the rules, it's a law. So if we wanted for people to define their rules on, for example, Ethereum, you would need many smart contracts, at least one smart contract, someone wants to introduce a new rule, and that's pretty bad in terms of composability and in terms of performance and many things. So we've implemented a Prolog interpreter as a module in the blockchain. A Prolog is a programming language designed specifically to define facts and rules, so it's perfect to do that, and we've built it on chain. Then we have the ontology. So the ontology is the semantic representation of everything that is shared. So the datasets, the algorithms, the services that are shared, they are all described in the ontology, and you can see the link between them. And once you have once you have the ontology with the resources and the rules applied to it, there is a whole set of smart contracts for orchestration that enforce the rules, like payments, like everything that is related to the economy and to the incentives for the off-chain world to work. So this is another way to explain it. This set of smart contracts and module, it can orchestrate anything off-chain, and it's literally anything. It can even be bank accounts, it can even be the Twitter accounts, it can be anything as a service, and it can be orchestrated under any conditions you want. And that's really powerful. I mean, you don't realize it, so that's why I'm going to use an example, but it's really powerful. As an example, let's dive into AI. So it's a buzzword, I know, but it makes sense to explain to you how it works. So AI, you know, for context, they are created every day by the thousands. They are getting better every day. They're probably going to take your job. They're controlled by a handful of corporations, and these corporations get even more powerful as the AI becomes more powerful. This is a map of the main contenders, the 4 dark horses, and I mean, are we something to do here? Maybe. What about crypto? So I've consulted with thousands of scientists that came up with this figure. So it's a very robust figure, but yes, this market exists in the middle. There's something to do. Why? I mean, how does crypto contribute to AI? For examples, composability, the ability to define rules for data requirements and to make them composable with each other and with the algorithms. Ease of capital formation, you create a token, you have capital. Incentive alignment, of course, to create the right incentives for people to contribute toward an outcome that is collectively specified. Reducing trust assumptions, of course, you remove the intermediaries, you create trustless or trust-limited systems. It's way better to create this right environment where you have the trust and the incentives. And of course, on-chain governance, you all know that. So that's why we're announcing the OKP4 AI Factory. What does it look like, and what its purpose? So the question is, what if AI was collaboratively trained, collaboratively owned, collaboratively governed? That would be nice. What kind of AI? Any kind, basically, from very large foundation models to very specialized models with a very specific use case, from open source to proprietary. That's available. And the AI Factory, basically, it's 3 things. So it's a set of rules and governance templates. So this is things that we provide and that anyone can use. It's data requirements definition that anyone can tweak or can use as is. It's contribution quantification mechanisms. So it's how a collective of people contribute to the AI, and how do we measure their contribution, and how do we reward them or give them some ownership of the AI. And then a token factory for DAOs that want to use the AI factory. Then a set of open source algorithms ready to be trained, and a set of tailored service and workflows for builders and developers to create their AI or a DAO AI very easily. And a set of integration and connectors with the more Web 2-like world for cloud, but even with protocols like, I don't know, Akash, I don't know, SuperCloud maybe. And let me show you the AI factory, what it looks like in terms of UI and in terms of interfaces. This is a portal of OKP4. It's a very generic portal, but within it, you can use all the templates that are available. You can interact with the protocol, basically, in a no-code way. So first, you have to create a zone. So a zone is a set of rules that will be the foundation for the whole ecosystem to be built on top. And here, because you want to create this AI DAO, you need to create the zone that will be the foundation for the collective of people to contribute. And so you create a zone, you define the title, what is it for, and then you use a template. So it's a template of rules. Here is the AI factory. The template, it has a preset of rules that are applied to the zone. So for example, identity management, do we use the keys? Do we use some more Web2-like authentication system? Same for the governance model. Is it like with a token? Is it a multi-sig? Is it just a single person that has access to it? Regarding the data sets, same. You can define all the rules you want, like what kind of data set are allowed, who can edit the metadata, is the download of that data enabled within that zone or not. Same for the services, what kind of services, and of course the business model. So once you have all the rules defined, you create your zone, so you push a transaction into the protocol, and then it's accepted and your zone is created. Great, we have a zone. Now, as a contributor, I want to share some data sets. Anyone can do that. So I want to share a data set, so I will, use this interface. Maybe I have a data set in my local computer, so I will need to use a storage service, or maybe I just have it available on the cloud somewhere, and I just need to reference it. But here in that situation, maybe we want to use a service to store it. That's fine, okay? And then we need to describe the data. So we need to fill the metadata of that data and describe it as well as possible for the other people to use it. So that's my job. I will fill the blanks, and then I will reference my data into the protocol. So my data, as I said, it's off-chain. We just reference it and describe the metadata and the rules on-chain. And then I reference it in the protocol. That's great. Now imagine there is thousands of different individuals who contributed with their data sets and their algorithm, and we need to train that AI finally. So we are going to build a workflow. Here is a workflow builder. So it's an interface where you can drag and drop the data sets and their algorithm together. And here we are creating a simple workflow to convert two DGen1, DGen2 data into a compatible data format, and then use these two data sets with the price history of Pepe to train our foundation model here. And then we want to make that AI accessible via API, so we put a connector. Now I need to pay, and if I respect the rules of each of these data sets and the rules of the zone, then the transaction will be accepted by all the validators who will check all the different rules and say, okay, it's compliant with the rules, we accept the transaction, and then in the off-chain world, there is the workflow engine and the different algorithms and data sets that are listening to the blockchain and that basically make the magic happen. So these workflow engines, they are only listening to the blockchain, and only if there is a consensus and only if the rules are respected that the different access rights are given. So this was a simple example about an AI factory. Maybe not that simple, but still, it's a lot of possibilities. But what else? I think we need to go way bigger than just DeFi and NFTs. I mean, these use cases in the off-chain world, they are pretty huge. And that's where we come in, and that's what we want to build, is this right governance infrastructure for any off-chain thing. And maybe you want to build, as a builder, as a developer, you want to create a use case for decentralized physical infrastructure network, or you want a DAO to have access to a Twitter account and publish through it, or maybe you want just to do some analytics based on data that is shared by many people, and even data, and even private data. You want these people to contribute without losing the risk of losing ownership of their data. And these kind of use cases, they'll soon be available, and soon people will build on OKP4 for these kind of use cases. Now, we've built using the Cosmos SDK, of course, for a sovereignty reason, but there are also the IBC and the Cosmosm that enable interoperability. And that's really huge because as a hub for governance and for rules definition and access to the off-chain world, we're going to benefit from the whole interchain. And you know protocols like Akash, like Jackal, that provide, let's say, infrastructure services in the off-chain world, and marketplace for off-chain infrastructure. It goes way beyond that, and every protocol will soon benefit from it. And that's the idea. And the key term here is sovereign interoperability, to really be sovereign but interoperable. So where are we now? So now we're in testnet since November 2022. We thank very much all our validators who helped us a lot during this quite long journey. We found no critical exploit yet since that time with 150 validators. And now the modules and the smart contracts are deployed. We're going to end that phase of the incentivized testnet to get ready for mainnet. Right now we have our builders program that is open for anyone to build on top of the protocol. And we have an ambassador program that will start very soon, in the 4th of October. So when mainnet? Mainnet is coming for 2023, exactly when the bull market returns, right? So I want to finish with this quote. It's the ultimate use of token is to coordinate real-world behavior at scale. I think it's really true. If you think as well, please, as a builder, join us, just build with us, build on top of the protocol. As an ambassador, please learn about it. It's pretty abstract and difficult maybe to know these new terms now, but it will come and we need a lot of education on it. And as an investor, you can reach me out as well. Thank you very much.